That's right. It's another late night, and time for another reach, potentially a final reach for a while, into the Just Giggle Grab Bag. And tonight we're pulling out, hashtag it, kids. Hashtag Just Giggle It, number 7.
Yeah, we're literally scratching the bottom of the grab bag, Dragon. This is it. This is the one you've been threatening us with.
I can feel the thread count, man. We've literally reached the bottom. I mean, there are some remnants of bloopers here, but nothing of substance we can cover.
It's pretty crazy, Dragon. When we set out to do this, it almost felt like an impossible task. Like, oh, silly us. We'll never be able to cover every JGI sketch. They have so many of them. They have like 60 something. Well, folks, we're here, and yeah, like Dragon said, we've covered everything. Rest assured, folks, this is not the end of the grab bag. The first and foremost, Dragon, I'm willing to assume this is going to be the next grab bag, unless, of course, JGI drops something in between tonight and us finishing this project. But I assume if that doesn't happen, then the next grab bag is going to be the biopic, correct?
Well, again, the biopic, even if Just Giggle doesn't release a new sketch next week, it's not going to be next week. It might need some time to gestate.
I'm not saying it's going to be next week. I'm just saying it's going to be the next JGI sketch or the next JGI grab bag that we do, unless JGI drops something in, let's say, the 2 or 3 weeks that it'll take us.
Essentially, yes, that seems to be kind of what the plan is right now. Basically, we're channeling into the kind of our big kind of threat we've been laying out for JGI for a while now. The old we're gonna do a biopic on you. We're gonna pitch a biopic for JGI. And folks, I mean, we still have some negotiations to go through here, some contract negotiations, but we're in the casting phases.
Well, I mean, not only are we in the casting phases, but I think at this point, as a matter of fact, yesterday, if I can brag for a minute, yesterday, I think I pulled us from casting into character conceptualization. Now, this means, Dragon, what we're doing now, what the process is, a little inside baseball for you all. The process now is we're kind of taking the people that we know, the good folks at Just Giggle It, the real flesh and blood human beings. And frankly, for the sake of a 2-hour narrative, we have to turn them into the characters that they're going to be in the movie. So it's kind of a tricky balancing act. Who is the person Mark Sipka versus the character Mark Sipka? Who is the person Alex Boncio versus the character of Alex Boncio? Am I explaining that right, Dragon?
More or less. Essentially, folks, biopics, of course, certain liberties are taken. We're going to try to keep as on the money as we can, but just folks, it's definitely going to be it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be an interesting one. You're not going to want to miss. If you're a deep, diehard, JGI fan, you're definitely not going to want to miss kind of our pitch of like what a biopic on JGI would look like.
Moving right along.
It's moving right along from.
Little foreshadow there, Dragon. Little start of our biopic.
Certainly. Anyways, the point being, folks, after this one, which essentially, folks, if you go through like all the videos of JGI, this is like the last one of the ones we haven't covered yet. So we're going to be all stocked up until I guess the Why So's or some of the other stuff Joshua Thomas has cooked up. Which, by the way, speaking of stuff Joshua Thomas is cooking up, he did a live stream recently with good old Corey Oldnick, Frank for the kids.
A surprise late night live stream that was a lot of fun, but I will admit I was kind of laying down to bed when it started, so a little notice would have been good next time.
Well, he was catching his Z's. I was there to the very end, and I was.
Oh, come on! How long did they go on after I left? Like 15 minutes?
Do you really want to know?
Yes, I do genuinely want to know.
I went a little longer than 15 minutes, Tiki.
Oh God! Oh wow! Well, I could have never survived it, man. I was ready to go.
So
I was ready to go a half hour before I left. If I'm being honest with you.
Well, this will tell. I'm pretty sure you didn't see any of this, and this shows you how much time you missed out on. Actually teased a little bit of footage from something Josh Thomas teased way back in the day. I got to see a little bit more of it, basically without the effects put in. It's Earth's Do-Over, the little show.
Oh, wow.
Little short film, I believe. I don't know if it's going to be a pilot for a series or just a short film. I believe it's just like a short that he's doing. Earth's Do-Over, which brings back Emma Leonard, from from Waiter Flirting. Emma Leonard, actress extraordinaire, bringing her back into the fray. And yeah, look, I tell you, Tiki, it looks great. So I don't know whether that's going to be like the project he's in the throes of right now, because I know basically Piper Henson's kind of gun ho in the Wise So's, it seems.
Mhm.
Basically, it's kind of a race to see who's going to get done their editing and kind of finishing up their project first. Is it going to be the Wise So's? Is it going to be Earth's Do-Over? Is it going to be Katie Aragon's Titan sketch? Who knows? All three we're eager to talk about him. Whoever's going to cross the finish line first.
All right.
Anyway,
so Gregan, set up the sketch that we're talking about tonight, because
Yes.
I must say I had a Krusty the Clown, what the hell was that reaction the first time I watched
I'm
it.
really disappointed you keep going to the Krusty the Clown thing, because again, we've had like 5 seasons built in. What was that?
What? I just the internet knows what the hell was that. All right, the internet in general doesn't know what was that. Okay.
Okay, well,
I gotta play to the crowd, Dragon. I gotta play to the crowd. If this was a Bates Motel podcast, certainly I'd do what was that, but
All right. Okay, so folks, this was saved for the very end, pretty much for the reason Tiki just exposited. This one's kind of a hard sell, but again,
is it
oddly
a
enough,
commercial? Is it a pilot? Is it just a random sketch that they did on the concept of the sketches?
I don't
The
have any.
world may never know. It's like a Tootsie Pop.
Now, I don't have any concrete answers on this. I can only have my speculation, which oddly enough fits into kind of the theme of this last season. Ads, a lot of ad-based comedy. So oddly enough, commercial. What do you know?
Woo!
Well, here's what I do know. So this was directed by Mouse Meg. You gotta remember, it's kind of like 3 or so vignettes, kind of crunched. If you count the opening, it's like 4 vignettes, kind of pushed together. So I imagine, we multiple writers and multiple directors, and so kind of worked in on this. So.
Mhm.
I believe it was directed by both Mal Smith, of course, One Night Stand fame, one of the great early directors of JGI, Mal Smith, and Joshua Thomas. Those are kind of our directors there. Also, Joshua Thomas, big surprise, doing the editing. The man just can't resist wearing a hat or two, or in this case, 3, because he's directed, wrote, I believe, edited this sketch, and he wrote it alongside Mark Sipka and Piper Henson. So, of course, you got Mike Sipka, Piper Henson, Josh Jonas. Everyone, it's kind of too many cooks in a sense. Not in a negative way, but just a lot of cooks involved in this one.
I mean, in a way, Dragon, I do like the concept of the sketch.
Yeah.
Because it's essentially just rapid fire JGI sketches.
Pretty much.
It's kind of like, hey, what are we about? These little bite-sized pieces of comedy will show us what we're about.
My read on this is that basically it's exactly what you said. It's kind of like they're doing a little advertisement for Just Giggle. Again, there's like the 7th sketch they've done. Bear in mind, they shot a few of them out of order, like the Facebook Social Network. That was the first one they ever shot, but we get 912 kind of being put on there first. The point being, it roughly goes like kind of in chronological or after that certain point. So the point they're in the thick of the early days. We have this come along hand in the early years of JGI. They're shooting multiple sketches, like up to like 2 to 3 sketches a day if they can. So I imagine this kind of mirrors their work ethic in the early days, where it's like we have kind of this rapid fire sampling of JGI sketches and just comedy and the stamp of JGI fit into the search bar gimmick, which I adore the search bar gimmick. I've always loved the search bar gimmick.
Oh, yeah.
And as you notice, as the years go on, JGI kind of gets a little bit away from the search bar gimmick. And I got to tell you, there are things in this with the structure of said kind of like mini cavalcade of comedy that I do really like, especially with the whole idea of like, okay, so we're going to see the search bar really put in the maximum overdrive this sketch. And I think that was really, really good. Particularly, I love how they ended, but we'll get there. So I can only assume maybe this is like, I don't know if they used to promise like a new sketch every month. They're not casting any shade to the state of it now, because obviously now things are a little amiss. And again, they're busy and things have changed over the years, and again, it's like like back in 2014, they start off this whole like every Monday's new sketches, that whole thing. But it's I wonder if maybe they fell behind a week. So okay, we're gonna make up for the week or so we lost, and we're just gonna like shell them out like multiple in once. Feel like they got their money's worth. Okay, I don't know if that was the thinking, or again, it's just like, you know what? Because just look at the title of this one, hashtag Just Giggle. I think it's more of like, hey, we'll advertise, and literally, if you hashtag Just Giggle, you're going to find this video, which gives you a little sampling of things, and therefore it gives you a kind of a taste of the channel, so to speak. And they Just Giggle, and again, I did flirt with like us maybe covering these, and again, if we get really desperate after we do the biopic, then we're going to probably have to get to the sort of stuff we do, the making of. The one making of thing of Just Giggle it has, and a few of the other, not advertisements. Literally, it's every sketch we've already covered, just put into a different context. There's the dramatic trailer for JGI, and there's the comedy trailer for JGI.
Once we start breaking down trailers, that's going to be a sad day, Dragon.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if there comes a point where
of the JGI Grab Bag is breaking down comedy, breaking down the essence of comedy.
Yes, and then of course we get super desperate, getting kind of the threads and kind of the crumbs that we have left in the bag, the blooper reels. So,
I mean, I'm more down for blooper reels than I am for trailers, because at least blooper reels do have a comedic element to them.
True. So we'll see about that again. Ideally, when there's like a complete dry spell again after the new sketches come through. So we'll see what happens. Regardless, the point being. Rapid fire taste of JGI. So without further ado, let's start breaking it down.
All right, in a world, Dragon, in a world.
Yep, Joshua Thomas doing the in a world guy voice. A thing that's kind of made very popular on certain other YouTube channels, and Ryan Reynolds as well. Ryan Reynolds loves to do the in a world guy and does it so well.
Oh yeah. Now he keeps going on about like what this world exactly is. Comprised of, Dragon. It's kind of a bit in its own right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Kind of like a fourth added to the three that we do get here. So, in a world full of tragedy and suffering and heartache and heartbreak and heartquakes, and that's kind of like having a heart attack during an earthquake. We have like this globe shot, kind of seeing this little kind of like the spinning globe, our little worlds are spinning, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I love this line here. The other negative descriptive words is literally.
I've got to say that's probably the single funniest bit in the whole sketch.
It is
just other descriptive words.
I think that's the smartest joke in the whole piece.
It is the smartest. It's the most meta joke. Yeah.
There's one group dedicated to finding the humor in all facets of life.
Then we get this great kind of like I don't know what you call the filter they have on them. It's like a gradient, some sort of gradient filter on Sipka, Poncio, and Sagar, and they're all kind of like in their laughing poses.
Yeah, it's literally just to shout this out because we learned this from Joshua Thomas recently. It's literally kind of what Jason Rambla is using on his thing right now, the Woody Brando channel that he's got going on. It has like kind of like one of those filter things for his own face. It's like kind of the over, the black white reversal.
Overexposed. That's what it is. Overexposed.
So yes, and I love. Here's another really kind of clever. I think the cleverest part was this little opening here, and we have like the one group dedicated to finding humor in all facets of life, and we just had it literally put it as text on the screen just after we heard it. It's like, dude, we really need to spell it out that much.
Dedicated to searching for the humor in all facets of life.
Yeah. Let's see. So, of course, basically, in essence here, I would imagine the headcanon here and just kind of the meta quality of this whole sketch. This is the backstory. Basically, this is a backstory of the professional minds of JGI who created the comedy search engine, which basically gives us the sketches that we do have. There's an origin for the search bar. It would probably be this. Mm-hmm. Again, right. And the mission statement, that's literally what I was talking about. Like we have the mission statement dedicated to searching for all humor in all facets. Again, literally on the screen, that's the mission statement. That's what we just went through.
Right, so the first sketch is very simple. It's just Joshua Thomas getting out of a car. It's business. Business is the key word to search for here.
Again, the search engine being put into play, so business. And again, what I love about it, I love the search engine. Yeah, okay, go on, Joshua Thomas.
Okay, so Joshua Thomas gets out of the car. He's on his phone. He's talking very business-like, Dragon. I think it's pretty much nonsense he's talking.
Very exposition-heavy nonsense.
Business. And then we hear a squish, Dragon. A little squish. He steps on a little something on the ground. Presumably, probably dog shit. Gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, he's taking big old step in the dog crap. Pretty
and then the camera pans over, Dragon, and what do we see?
So we have kind of the money shot of the piece here. We have Alex Boncio, Sagar, and Piper Henson, just like pointing and laughing at that kind of businessman Josh's misfortune. He's like, "You, Johnny, I'm a businessman. I'm going to do business." And
this is Jimmy and Kim laughing at Howard Hamlin.
Pretty much, just like a laughing at his misfortune here. So pretty much, it's kind of the long and short of JGI. We capture person doing something, subversion. In this case, via dog crap, which if you go by certain early unfavorable JGI sketches, you do have.
Yeah.
So then we have the look to camera, just like Jeff says, looking up, and then we have like kind of this call, like, "Go!" Well, sorry, I'm jumping ahead here. We're gonna have more of that later. But we have each effect from the sketch kind of gets played into it. So we have like the dog crap kind of squish effect, like as we get into the next search. So again, like now you get your money's worth, folks. Like, another search engine. What do you know?
I will admit it is a pretty fun premise. I'm kind of surprised they've never brought in this concept back.
I know.
All right. So next sketch, next premise, if you will, is exercise. And exercise, we see again a non-bearded Sagar and Dragon. Like I said, I feel like this sketch is like prime biopic material because it's essentially all these characters at the start of their journeys. So we see non-bearded Sagar, getting his headphones out, ready to go on a nice morning stroll, and he drops his cell phone.
Yeah, so literally Sagar is in the first steps of his journey, if you want to look at it that way. Literally, he can't even take his first steps without trying to hook up his phone, his headphones to his phone, drops it, and then we have this. I think this is even funnier. We have Piper. Oh god, we have Piper Ensign, we have Bonsi, we have Sipka, just like laughing.
I love Sipka just stationed in the middle, holding his phone, and just like the over the top ha 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 he has on his face. Yeah, and then of course the cherry on top to this gag is them all getting the text and just instantly looking at their phone. That's such a well timed gag and well edited too with the sound effects and everything.
And then that takes us into possibly one of the funniest of the three.
Romance. And Dragon, this is proto Sipka right here, man. Proto Lady Man Sipka. This is like baby Lady Man Sipka right here. It's kind of crazy.
Little fun fact, if you notice, I'm pretty sure about this. If you look at Sipka is wearing his kind of trademark in a red tuxedo. He has some, like his he's been advertising him with the glass of milk, that whole thing, kind of the poster image he uses, I believe, for his I don't know if I think he MCs at a comedy club or something. I believe that's kind of his calling card image. Anyway, it's in the red suit minus the jacket. It has like the red pants and everything from the outfit. Anyway, so he's sitting there and he's romantic. Again, there seems to be kind of this odd thing where in so many JGI sketches we paired up Sipka and Piper Henson together.
That's what I'm saying, man. And this is like a very, very early version of that.
You have this. You have Missed Connections.
Missed Connections is my personal favorite, and I honestly think this is like a very, very direct predecessor to Missed Connections. If I'm being honest.
I can't remember when we got Missed Connections. I hear what you're saying. And then, of course, down the line we have Randy and Sandy Newman.
Oh my God, Randy and Sandy Newman.
That's what I'm saying.
Favorite.
It's a runner. So we have kind of a romantic couple here. We had Sipka, we had Piper, and like kind of they're a couple in love on a picnic, taking a basket.
Cute.
Isn't that cute? But it's wrong.
Oh God.
No. They're having a little picnic here, and they're about to toast, and they go in for the kiss. It is interrupted by a lot of crap, folks. And I don't mean just kind of nonsense. A lot of crap. A lot of bird crap, more specifically. You're like, go! Just it's nasty, and right on their faces too. Like, it's like the old gag where someone comes in between the two. In this case, it's literally the crap coming in between the two. It's like the nastiest thing you've ever seen. Thank goodness a prop. Anyway, so thank goodness Sam Raimi didn't direct this scene, because if he did, he would have put his actors through heck. Anyway, so. We then pan over to I just love how crouched over. I love the placement of each of these. Like, it's even more funny each placement. Just have like generally, hey, pointing and laughing, then pointing and laughing with phones, and now like literally to the right of them, behind a tree, You have Joshua Thomas, Saga, and Poncio just like positioned so perfectly, laughing. But again, the JGI subversion here, and again teasing the proper kind of taste of JGI here. We have the heart of the sketch shines through amidst the comedy, amidst the over that. Oh, okay, we've done a poo joke, ha ha ha, aren't we funny? But no, not with JJ. I'm not going to do the average poo joke, folks. They're gonna push a step beyond it. In this case, the love still remains. Gross as it may seem, the love still remains between the couple and love. They go in for it, and you hear the sound design. It's just disgustingly right. And but in this, they have the confusion of the. Just the confusion and the mundanity of Poncio, and just kind of looking at the camera and the rest of them like, well, what is happening? Just the kind of the what look amongst the menagerie here. Just right. The menagerie kind of looking to each other, and Poncio looking at the camera like, what?
All right, and so then then we cut back to the JGI search bar. And
this is my favorite part. I wish they kept this for more sketches. I wish every JGI sketch ended this way. Honestly, I really do. At least in the early days.
What's next?
Yes, the what's next is great. Where you use that, we have the imposing score, dun, 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 like
pretty decent tease. I don't think I'm in love with it the same way you are.
I'm just saying, when they keep the search bar thing, it's like literally, in theory, if you're going to open each of your JGI sketches with the search bar, that'd be the perfect lead-in where you want to know, yeah, what's going to happen next, and okay, next thing we type in the search bar. If they're going to keep that concept alive, that's how you would do it, and it'd be perfect.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, that's it, Dragon, and it begs the question: what is next?
Well, plumb nothing technically. No. That's endless potential of things. Again, why so is most likely. Yeah, why so is you got some. Nick Cage in the future, but Nick Cage has to kind of take care of himself health wise right now. Just make sure everyone's safe and everything. We can't expose Cage to the elements. It'll just lead to pandemics. Plenty. It's not good stuff. So I guess final thoughts then.
Yeah, final thoughts. I mean, it's funny for what it is. I'm not gonna lie. It's three really quick, really funny sketches, and I think the thing I appreciate the most, Dragon, is, like I said, kind of that biopic quality that this thing has. The whole, like, it's the young talent starting out in the first steps of their journey towards comedic stardom. And because of that, I think this sketch has a really simple charm to it. We see everyone kind of like all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and clean-shaven, and before any of the madness goes down, before Harley Quinn and the Joker or any of that. And so I like this. I like this especially because we've got the biopic in mind. Is it a good traditional sketch? Heck no, because we can't even really pinpoint exactly what it is, but for what it is, for the content therein, it's okay. It's okay.
Well, again, I also don't. It's got to be an ad, so I wouldn't really think it's that much of a mystery. Like, what is this? What is this? I mean, it's pretty simple.
Ooh, well, I'm saying for an ad, it's still pretty funny.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the thing. This is like, to me, it's an ad with style of what JGI's core mission was. It's sketch comedy with friends sharing a laugh. It's not their finest, but probably, I imagine, due to the rapid fire nature, perhaps. Maybe that's why. Again, taking the sketch for what it is, again, you do have they kind of, it's kind of like seeing what sticks to the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, again, we got some laughs in there. We kind of threw a lot of stuff against the wall there, and it's and again, it's a fun presentational sketch in a pinch. If you need to sell like what JGI is this the absolute best representation of what JGI would become? Probably not. But did they know what it would become in these early stages? No, they were just having fun play. Hey, let's generally pitch what we're going to do here. We have the search bar concept kind of put in the play. We were showcasing our players. The idea, okay, they would do stuff, not to be taken super seriously as like an advertisement, but it's like again, it's like it's kind of flirting with the idea of professionalism before they actually achieve that. Once they had a few more sketches under their belts, like a first season of sketches under their belts, so to speak. So it is what it is. It's not bad, and again, it kind of rounds out the ad season. Again, it's kind of a little time capsule piece, more accurate. This is more kind of like the less the embarrassing high school photos, more of the just kind of like, oh, hey, look at them, look at the Breakfast Club in their heyday. What do you think?
Totally. It's got kind of a freaks and geeks charm to it.
Yeah, sure. There you go.
Seagull biopic.
Yes, I got it.
All right, Dragon, take us out.
All right, folks. Well, for the time being, that's going to do it for the JGI Grab Bag. Again, there's going to be stuff coming. Don't you worry. Not immediately, and that depends on JGI and when they're going to release some new goodies for us to kind of disseminate upon. But anyway, folks, that does it for now until the next eventual exciting reach into the Just Giggle Grab Bag, soon to be replenished, brand spanking new and hot off the presses. Until then.
Adios, muchachos.